Assalamualaikum everyone. This is the Caliph podcast. I'm Hariss and we're on episode 17. My guest today is Hariss Harun, the professional soccer player. You are the captain for the Singapore national team where you made your debut at the age of 16 years old and also currently the captain for your club, Johor Darul Ta'zim. You have won the Malaysia Super League title a total of 6 times, 5 with Johor and 1 with LionsXII, where you guys were unbeaten at home. In 2015, you made history winning the AFC Cup with Johor, and recently you won the Best ASEAN Import 2019 at the National Football Awards. We are here to talk about discipline, leadership, your routines, and more. Hariss, Assalamualaikum. Welcome to the Caliph podcast.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Alhamdulillah. All right. How have you been lately with all the COVID-19 news and disruption going on? So how have you been coping? We want to know, in a sense of how footballers are coping with this situation right now.
It's not been easy. It's, to be honest, it's a bit boring because I think footballers we are quite used to being active, going out and about, traveling, going to trainings, being in close proximity with teammates, not only on the field but going out together, So I think to be cooped up at home is a little bit different, but maybe it's now about 2 months or so, so we're probably getting used to it, and it's what the situation calls for. Circumstances is as such, so we have to all stay home and stay safe, do our part. So for me, it's just staying home and trying to keep my fitness, my condition in the best shape possible. Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering how's the training be like? Like, how do you guys also Zoom all together, or how do you do it?
Yeah, I think it's like how it is almost everywhere. I think we just Zoom. Fitness coach tries to keep up with everybody, give a program for everybody to follow, and then we have a session where he takes a look at us, and of course we have to update our weight every day.
Oh, wow.
But the past 2 weeks we've been given off because
Hari Raya.
we
Is it?
found, yeah, Hari Raya, but also we were told that the season will probably resume sometime in September, so there's still a couple of months to go, so that's why they gave us 2 weeks off. But first week of June, in next week also, we're gonna resume training again. So that's how it's been. But then again, even though with the 2 weeks off, we still have to do something, to keep the shape. We cannot just take
Yeah.
complete off from it. So yeah, that's how it has been. So official training by Zoom is gonna start again next week. Yeah.
How about in football sense? Like, in terms of that's in terms of fitness, right? How about like
Yeah.
ball skills and everything? Do you guys do it still?
Yeah, I think it's more of how each individual want to do or what he likes to do. So probably just some juggling, some just dribbling around the house. I have 2 young kids, so we just play,
Yeah.
kick around with them, just to have a little bit of fun, feel like a child again. But to be honest, you can't really do much because you can't go out right now outdoors to kick about. You only can go for a job also, so it's quite limited in that sense, but you have to make do with what you can.
Yeah. All right. Got it. You are in the news recently where you are the first Singaporean footballer to get a pay cut, right? About
Yeah.
33% to chip in for the Johor disaster fund. Maybe you can talk a bit about that.
Yeah, I think when the COVID-19 situation came about, it was quite it happened so fast. Within the space of 2-3 months, it spread all around the world. You see how people are affected in many ways in terms of their lifestyle, in terms of their job, uh, and how people get, those who are infected, they are affected. Of course, people are infected in various scales. Some people are fine, some people are really sick. So I think for us footballers, this is just especially for GDP, we're just doing our part
Mhm.
in the best way that we can. So I think the disaster fund is a way to show support to the people that we all in this together. And to be honest, I think there's better things to, as in there's more important things to fight for or take care of right now, other than football. So this is just us doing our part in this fight against COVID-19.
I think it's a very great initiative from you.
Yeah,
Okay, I want to jump into the questions, right?
yeah,
So before everything has started, your national team debut, right? What were you
yeah.
like as a kid back then?
Uh, I think I was quite an active kid from primary school throughout. I always loved football from a young age. In my primary one, primary two onwards, I always loved playing football with friends. I think like how it starts with most kids. You're kicking around with friends, you just don't care. You're running about, kicking the ball everywhere. You kick anything you can. Not it doesn't have to be a ball. It can be a bottle. It can be a pencil box in school. It doesn't matter. So I was just like this, but my love for football was fueled. I think when I was involved in the school teams. I think when you're primary four, primary five, you can
Mm.
actually try out for the school team, and then it gets a bit more competitive because you have to be uh up there to be selected. There's only like 20 players or so who are going to be in the team. So in is being competitive is in my nature. So I think that fueled my passion, my drive to want to be better. So subsequently, I joined the various youth teams all the way up to NFA, and yeah, with the Young Lions national team and so on.
So at that moment where you made your debut at 16 years old,
Yeah.
how was the feeling like?
It was surreal. Yeah, it was surreal. I still remember it clearly. Actually, to be called up in the middle of that year, because I was having just my first year. It was my debut season in the S League. So I played only like 6 months or 7 months or so, and I didn't expect to be called up so early. Maybe I was thinking maybe after a year or two. But it was a surprise, just to train, just to be called up. And I remember that first game when I went on the old National Stadium. I was on the bench, but uh, I was told to warm up with a couple other players. So started to
Yeah.
kick in, and when Coach Radi finally called me to come over, was so many things was racing through my mind. That it was that jog from the warm up area till the bench was, it felt really fast in terms of my memories. Like so many things
Yeah.
raced through my mind, but I didn't have the time. He just gave me some tips, some instructions, and just put on my jersey and get in and do what I do best. So I think it was really memorable part of my football career. Yeah.
How do you rate yourself on your first game that day?
I think it was for a 16-year-old boy. I think it's not too bad. I managed to intercept some balls. I managed to get a shot off. I remember clearly, but it was way off
Mm.
target. But I think for a 16-year-old boy to be involved in a full international match, even though it was just a friendly, was a huge deal for me. Not only for me, but I think for any 16-year-old boy. So
Yeah.
I think I took it my stride. It was something that was like a launch pad for my career. Yeah.
Hmm. Do you expect to play on that match, like, or
To,
maybe in the next few games?
to be honest, no, I didn't expect, because the quality was really high. In the national team, I was coming in. There were players like Mustafiq Baruddin, Isa Halim in my position. Chai was there as well, so it was
Yeah.
quite competitive. I yeah, like going back to what I said before, I have that competitive nature in me. So, I always would like to play. But to be fair and to be honest, to be realistic, I would say for a
Hmm.
16-year-old boy, I didn't expect to play, but that little bit inside of me wanted to play. So I was really glad that I was given a chance to be exposed, and it was really a good learning platform for me.
I'm just wondering, when your career just grew, right? From
Yeah.
starting off, from getting all the limelight at 16 years old, do you know that you're gonna be a great footballer?
To be honest, I always didn't think of anything other than wanting to do my best and giving my best lah, to be
Mm-hmm.
the best. But that's not a smooth ride a smooth sailing journey, I would say, because definitely as a young boy, you feel that bit of insecurity.
Yep.
You feel you have doubts. Sometimes you can be a bit selfish. That is part and parcel of growing up. But I think it's important that you have good people around you, people who advise you, people who take care of you, people who are there to give you the tough love. It's not always nice and easy. You have to learn. So I think I had all that along the way. So
Mm-hmm.
I learned through the good times. I learned through the hard times the hard way as well. So I think that set me up really well. And also I think it's important to have an open mindset to learn, because it's easy when you get something that you don't like, or you are the receiving end of something you don't like. It's like
Yeah.
easy for you to push away. It's like, hey, I don't care about this, I just want to do my stuff. But it's important to have an open mindset to try to learn. Yeah.
All right. So, what's your pre-match, match day routine, or
Mm-hmm.
before you start the day? Do you have any routines that you strictly follow? Maybe you can
uh
share here.
I don't really have any routines. Like, I have to follow the A to Z kind of thing on my match day or the day before. I just make sure that I wake up really early to have a good breakfast, because I think it's important to kickstart the day, not only on a match day but and on any other day. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important. So I try to have my breakfast and my lunch. I think I'm quite particular about a certain lunch, so I always have that same lunch for
Mm.
all my match days if I'm
Which
at
is?
home, which is like pasta with salmon. So
Oh.
yeah, so I have only that if I'm cooking myself, or my wife is around to cook, if I'm from home. Of course, I have to try to adjust if I'm in the hotel with the team away or with the national team or something. So that's I would say that's the only routine. And other than that, I don't think there's anything so strict or special that I follow. Yeah.
So you say that you woke up early, so that means you go to bed early also. Is that?
Yeah, normally I try to go to bed by 10:30,
Mm.
latest 11, because I think a good night's sleep is important. Then again, it's not only on the game day. I think every day is important to have good rest, because the older you get, the more you have to take care of your body. And I think your body is what gives you or brings you about on the field, to helps you to perform. And also in terms of your mind, I think you have to stay really fresh and sharp, especially when you're getting older. Because when you're
Yeah.
young, you have that youthful energy, that vigor to run around, not think too much. But when you're older, I think you start to feel it a little bit in the body. So you have to make sure that your mind is sharp and fresh. So uh, I think rest is really important. So in terms of that, diet and rest, everything goes hand in hand.
Let's talk about diet. Do you really watch your diet as a professional footballer, and what advice do you give to other footballers in terms of diet?
Uh, I think it's really important. I think diet is really important. The earlier you start, the better. To be honest, I didn't really take care of my diet in my early stages of my career. I remember when I was in poly, I think I was like 19, 20. There was fast food. There was, you're just eating junk before training and games. But then again, you're young, so you probably can take it and probably can get away with it. But as you get
Yep.
older, you start to realize, it doesn't help. Your body needs more, needs better things. And the last couple of years, yes, I've been in taking care of my diet as much as I can. We are all humans after all. We need our days where we need to indulge and that kind of stuff. Enjoy a little bit with the family, with the kids. But yes, I try to watch as much as I can. Yeah.
Share with us your greatest failure, or your worst football moments that you have in your long career.
Uh, I would say my greatest failure or something that I regret not having achieved is probably the SEA Games goal,
Mm.
because I was part of 4 SEA Games campaign, and I'm proud to say that actually we got medal in 3 of those campaigns that I played. Only in 2011 we were out in the group stage. In 2007 I was still a young boy. I was 17. but I played with a really strong group of players like Bahaki, Sharil, Hassan was there, Fazrul, Khairul Amri, Ridwan Mohammed. So all these players was really that golden generation where we thought we could get that goal for Singapore, but it was not to be. In 2009, we surprised ourselves. So because we were really a young squad, but we came back with the bronze. In 2013, I think we had going into that SEA Games, we were quietly confident because my group of my generation, like myself, Safwan, Isdin, Hafiz Sujat, Izwan, Afiq Yunus, we were having our last SEA Game, and most of us were already playing for the national team. So we made it to the semi-finals, but we lost to the eventual champions, Thailand, and 1-0. So I think that was a little bit disappointing because I really thought we go all the way, we go to the final and win it because I believe that if we had made it to the final, we probably would have won the goal, but it was not to be. So I think that's my greatest failure regret, I would say, because you can't turn it back right now. It's an under 23, under 22 tournament, and I'm way too old for that right now. So yeah.
How about your best moments in soccer career? Was it the
My
recent
best
one?
moment,
Or
I would say playing in winning the AFC Cup in 2015, and also playing in the Champions League. AFC Champions League. I think it's a really huge platform. First and foremost, to win the AFC Cup was something really unexpected because we were in the final not by default, but because the other team got disqualified, in the semi-final. So we kind of got a bye to the final, and from there it was anybody's game. So we played away to the home team. They were playing at their home ground. Our opponent, and I would say odds were against us lah.
yeah.
So we somehow managed to get through and win the historic AFC Cup, the first Southeast Asian team to do it. And a couple of years later, last year, 2019, to play in the Champions League against big names, big teams like Fellaini, Pele, these big players, and recently against Iniesta early this year as well. I think it's really memorable for me. Yeah.
You almost go overseas a few times in your career,
Yeah.
right? There's one loan to Hospitalet, something like that, the
Yes, in
club.
Spain. Yeah.
Yeah. So and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
How did you feel at that time? And do you still want to, do you see yourself playing abroad in a few years?
Yeah, I mean, it's an ambition of mine, but I think to be realistic, with each passing year, I know that the chance is getting slimmer because I'm 30 later this year, and it's not easy where clubs from Europe look at players my age.
Yeah.
But you should never rule it out. I'm still open to it, but right now I'm really very happy with myself, with where I am with JDT. The club has taken care of me really well over the past couple of years, ever since I've been there. And I think the project, the vision of the club is really matches my ambitions as well. So I think I'm really 100% fully focused in giving my best for the club. But uh, I will never rule it out totally lah, because from young it's always been my dream, my goal to play in Europe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe you can share with us what are the sacrifices and trade-offs you made to get to where you are today.
Uh, it's a lot of sacrifices. I think social life takes a huge toll because you as a footballer, you have a lot of traveling to do, especially as a national team player. Um, you don't have that time to go out, to chill, to relax as I had when I was younger probably.
Yeah.
But this comes with responsibility because you're representing the country, you're representing your family, your friends, and after I got married, when I have kids, you just give all your time for them, so these are the, and when you travel, you're leaving them behind. These are the sacrifices. Sometimes you miss your kids milestones as well, so I think there's a lot of sacrifices, but it's important to note that it's all worthwhile, I think if you put in the hard work, the dedication, the commitment to your cause,
Mm-hmm.
if you keep believing, that you will all be all right, that you will be rewarded at the end of it, I think you will all turn out fine. Yeah.
I noticed that you have had like major injuries before, right? You tore your
Mm,
ACL, right?
yeah.
How
Yeah.
is it like? How did you come back stronger, and how did you recover? You know, to get to where you are right now.
Mm, yeah. I think I was really young. I was 18. Yeah, I was turning 18 that year. It was my second year in the S League. So like I mentioned before, I made my debut the year before in my first year playing in the S League. So things were kind of on the high. I went to the SEA Games and I came back and then started strongly with the young Lions. So but then again, then after that I got injured. So
Mm-hmm.
to
Yep.
get that injury and to know that I will be out of football for a while kind of hit me, and kind of you know make you feel that, hey, football, this is part and parcel of football, but then again you have to try to make the most of your football career. So I was very focused on coming back as strong as I can, and again a lot of people were around me, my family, my coaches were really my ex-coaches like Kadiyaya was really supportive, checking on me. It was a lonely journey because it's a bit lonely when you see your friends training, they're playing the
Yes. Yes.
games and all
Right.
that, and you go in the gym, you're alone with the physio, with the trainer, having to put the hard work in. But but that's what it is. You have to work really really hard if you want to come back stronger. There's no stay strong, come back and try to make the most of it. So it was a long journey. I think I played my game exactly a year, around a year after I got injured. But as the experience goes by, I mean, as the experience you gain over the years playing games, international games, you realize football is injuries are part and parcel of football. So you have to take it in your stride. You have to be strong mentally and be ready. So, but also you have to try to take care of your body in the best way possible, like stretches, taking care of yourself, recovery after the games. So these are things that you learn along the way. So I think mentally, the key is to be strong mentally. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So now you have can say that you have won almost all with Johor. Is that right?
Domestically, yes. Yeah.
Domestically, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, um, what's next for Johor? Is it for in terms of international wise, or like how can you not be complacent being a captain for your
Uh,
team? Yeah.
I think our boss TMJ, he sets the tone for the whole club. I think he's very
Mm.
competitive. He's very ambitious. I think you see that he's going to Europe to learn from the big clubs like Juventus. He's meeting big names all around Europe, and he's learning of them. Of course, he has the context to meet these people. But the important thing is to learn, and what you've learned to bring back to where you came from. So that's what he has done.
Mm.
He has transformed Johor from what it was when he took over in 2012, I think, to what it is now in a space of 7-8 years. And it's a huge transformation. I remember when I first went to JDT training, it was just a small. I wouldn't even say a building. It was just a small, like small house where we were 20, 30 people cram into a small room to change. But right now, look, we have two natural grass pitch, one artificial indoor, two gyms, a clinic, like a kind of small clinic coming up behind our training center just for the players. and so many more coming up. So I think the ambition of the club to be the best every year we win the title, it's harder to defend the title next year because all
Yes.
the clubs
Yes.
like
Correct.
Pahang, Selangor, Kedah, Terengganu, they want to be up there, they want to catch us, so it's not easy. They keep us on the toes. And ever since we played in the Champions League last year in 2019, I think the first taste of the highest level of club football in Asia kind of make us hungry for it,
Mm.
of wanting more of it, So I think we're playing the Champions League again this year, so that incentive of playing the Champions League every year, I think keeps the boys on the toes. And naturally, I think the next step is the Champions League to do well, to go beyond the group stage. Because right now, the Champions League is really tough because we play in the East zone where there's Japanese, Chinese, Korean teams. They're really top level. So it's a huge challenge for us. But then again, never. I think this club, with the way that it's going, I think with the ambitions that the club, that TMJ has, that everyone has throughout the club, I think it's possible. We just have to believe and continue. Yeah.
I'm interested to know what is it like to work with TMJ. He has this wow, amazing
Yeah.
mindset where he goes
Yeah.
abroad here and there, like what you said just now. Like,
Yeah.
what is it like, being face to face with him for the first time, and yeah, your experience.
Initially it's a bit intimidating for me as a young
Yeah.
boy, but I must say actually until this day, till today, it still is a little bit, but in a good way, because his royalty, there's this respect for him. But he tries to make us players feel as comfortable as possible, but he has expectations because he has invested so much in the club, in the players, which is normal. We expect returns in terms of performances, in terms of trophies, in terms of so many other things. So I think he is somebody with that aura. He knows how to go about. He's a avid football fan. He has so much passion for football. He takes care of his players really well. There's no complaints from whoever who's played for Johor from the time that he's taken over. And he's there for us. He's there for us when we are down, when we don't do well, and he's there for us when we're celebrating. So he's been there throughout, and he knows football. He's a football person. He's not just someone who throws the money in and say, hey, I want 10 trophies. He knows football. So that's the most important thing. So I think him being very hands-on with the team, with the whole club, the whole structure, and he has given everybody a boost, keeps people on the toes, and lets people know that this club is of a certain standard. You have to be there to be here. And so that's him basically. Yeah.
Um, why? Okay, this is a tough question for you. Okay, why do you think that he made you captain? He can have so many other players, right? And
Yeah.
you are how Malaysia and Singapore, we are rivals also in terms of football
Yeah.
sense. And to
Mm-hmm.
make a Singaporean captain
Yeah.
captain for his side, why do you think he
Yeah.
he put that position?
I think first and foremost, I think he puts the rivalry aside. He's not so much. He doesn't look at it like Singapore versus
Nice.
Malaysia kind of thing. He just look at it like from a player's perspective, or from a team's perspective. So I think he knows that I'm captain for the national team, yeah, Singapore national team as well. And but for me, on a personal note, personal level, it was quite a surprise as well. I didn't expect to be captain because I remember the first time that I wore the captain armband. It was put on my place before the game, so I thought it was a mistake. Maybe the kit man put there by by accident or something. So I took the armband and gave it to another player, senior player who I thought should be the captain. Because we rotated captains a little bit when the first captain, the actual captain, wasn't playing. So I put it in his place. But uh, after a while, the assistant coach came to me and said, "Hey, no, boss said you are the captain for today," and I was surprised. So I was kind of inside of me, I was quietly confident. I was, I knew that I had what it took to be a captain. What it takes to be a captain. I've been captain before, so it was nothing new to me. But it's just that maybe I was a little bit like you say, cautious, a little bit like malu,
Of course.
to be there. But when you start the game, when you're preparing for the game, you put all this out the window, you throw it out the window, and you just focus 100%. So I must say, even before that, that I was captain, the years before, like 3-4 years before, that I have been playing with JDT, just a regular player, not a captain. My style has been the same. I try to help, I try to organize, I try to do my job as best as I can. So being a captain or not being a captain, I think is not much of a difference. It's just that when you wear the armband, there's more responsibilities. People look to you a lot more, and so my style has not been different lah. But the reason why he give me instead of everybody, I'm not sure. You have to ask him. So, but for me, this is the story of how I was given the armband. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I being a footballer myself also, I have this problem of consistency, right?
Yeah.
And even as a football fan, you watch your soccer clubs or your favorite soccer players, right? Some of them they were good at certain games, especially the away games, right? They some of them will get very bad. So in terms of coming from you, how do you as a as a footballer be consistent in every performance at every single place that you go to?
I think is how you prepare for the game. I think the consistency not only starts on the field but off the field. You have to be consistent in everything that you do. Preparing for a game, like before we spoke about resting well,
Yeah.
good diet, and even the trainings, how you train. I think it's easy when you have a good game, a tough game, you are lazy to do recovery the next day. It's normal. I think I feel the same way mentally, but like I said, this is where the mental aspect comes in. You have to tell yourself, I have a game next week, I have a game in 3 days, I have to do this. You have to force yourself to do it. You have to recover well, go to the swimming pool, go to the jacuzzi, do some stretches. You have to get the massage. Just doing the little things consistently, because I think if you take care of that well off the field, and then that will automatically take care of itself on the field. So when you're on the field, you are like ready physically
Yeah.
and mentally to do the job, which is to think how to play the game uh, the best way as possible, which is the goal is to win the game. So how to win the game the best way as you can, according to your ability. So I think doing the small things consistently can help you be consistent. So I think I had these struggles when I was much younger, because I think I was one of those players that was very satisfied after a good game, or if I had a really good gym session. You feel really strong and powerful, but then the next 2 days, 3 days, you are lazy. There's no consistency. So I learned this when I play with senior pros, those really professional ones. When I went to JDT, I played against top. I played with top foreign players like Luciano Figueroa, Pablo Aima. Later on, Marcos Antonio came on, and I had good senior pros in the national team also, like Alexander Duric, like Farudin. You see how they carry themselves, and the things that they do is actually the little things that they are consistent in. So you learn of them, and over the years, I try to add that into my game. So I think being consistent, you have to do the little things right. Yeah.
So you were once, of course, not being consistent. You had a great game, then the next day you get lazy
Yeah.
and stuff like that, right? So you're
Yeah.
saying that because you see, you observe, or you model these great
Mm-hmm.
players, you
Yeah.
you have that change of mindset. Is that how is it?
Yes, definitely. I think you have to be as professional as you can to be consistent. Of course, I'm not saying that you will play at consistently all out. There will be times
Yeah.
where you're going to be having a bad game. There will be times you have a really good game. But it's just how you're gonna turn the switch. How you're gonna switch back to being consistent. So it's all in the mindset.
So in terms of mindset, right? You see, the thing is that you can say, yeah, it's the mindset, but then how about the other footballers? They also have great they also play with great players, right?
Yeah.
How do you like everyone's the same? You how do you in yourself have that mindset? Why can you do it but other players can't?
I think you have to it's in the person itself, you know. If you want to achieve a certain level, certain standard, if you want to achieve something, like for example for myself, when I got injured at 18, a really young age, I told myself that, you know, football is of course a lot of people told me that football is a short career, you have to make the most out of it. And I told myself then, say, okay, I'm gonna try to come back, I'm gonna come back stronger, I'm gonna try to, you know, make the most of it. And that's where I told myself I try to learn the good things from as many people as possible, you know. So that was like kind of my trigger. So when you
Yeah,
are triggered, when you are kind of pushed over the cliff, you have no choice but to learn. So I think that was my case. For me, like I had football was my thing. I decided I wanted to do this. I was pushed over the cliff. I was uh, forced to, you know, try to learn from all these pros around me. I was very privileged to have all these people around me. So why not you learn? To be honest, till this day, I'm almost 30, but I'm still learning from the younger ones who come in. I think that if you have a broad mindset, open mindset, and you're always looking and learning and analyzing, you can still learn the good things of different people. So I think that that's important. Try to have to have that open mindset to try to learn, because uh, if that one person, like you were saying, like some people uh, don't want to learn, but if
yeah.
you have that trigger, you know, when you are not in your comfort zone, then you have no choice but to learn. Yeah.
Mm. Does getting married also help in your mindset? You know, knowing that, oh, now I have a family, I have a wife, and my kids are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being
Mm-hmm.
have to be more responsible. Does it also help in that mindset?
Yes, yes. I think it does. It does. Definitely, because I got married at a young age. I was 24 when I got married. A lot of people was questioning me about my decision, but you know, I was quite uh single-minded in that aspect. You know, I thought I was ready. I was not fooling around. I was not playing a
Yeah.
fool. You know, I was not thinking like, okay, you know, let's try. No, I was like sure that, you know, this is the one. So when I got married, there was a lot of challenges, of course. I had my first child. So when you have children, you learn a lot. You know, you learn that, you know, it's all about them right now. So you just you have the added motivation, the added push. You know, every time you
Yes.
go into the field to play for them, to do your best for them. You know, to make the most out of things. Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about the condition of or the situation of Singapore football right now.
Yes.
And I mean, we all know that it's not going very well with them. You being a captain, what are the maybe you can share what are the things that you see, like where does it go wrong or where can we improve? You know, like our
Mm,
neighboring countries, they are improving so well, Vietnam, Laos, you know, but
yeah.
why are we stuck? Is it because the players, or is it because of the society? Is it because of the condition right now? So maybe your views on that.
Mm, I think for a start, we are a football mad country. I think a lot of people love football. Not going specifically into race.
Sure.
You know, I think all races, Chinese, Malay, Indian, I think everybody loves football equally. So, but it's just that we have nothing to cheer for, nothing to, you know, recently, which is a little bit sad. But then again, we must always have that belief and never give up. I for one believe that we need to have a strong league. So I hope that uh, we as a football fraternity, as a football community, can go about to have that one product that, you know, our people can look forward to and be excited about. You know,
Mm, mm,
so I understand the basis behind the league, you know, with the young player ruling and everything to groom the young players. But I feel that, you know, there has to be a lot more quality, you know, maybe to increase the number of teams. One, because I think we have to have a bigger pool of players, local
mm-hmm.
players. So we probably need maybe 2 or 3 more local teams to be in the league where we can increase our local pool for the national team and have maybe at least four foreigners, because if you have 4 foreigners and quality foreigners, I mean, no, not just
Mm.
any other foreigner, quality foreigners that are head and shoulders above the locals, that uh the local players can learn off. So for example, if you are playing with somebody who is a quality foreigner in your team, you can learn his professional traits, his good things and everything. But if you're playing against a foreigner from another team in a game, you have to lift your game up.
Yeah,
A local
yeah.
player, you have to lift the game up because this foreigner is 2-3 times better than the local players, our Singaporean players, and you have to lift your game up. So I think that was how it was when in my initial years in the S League. We had really good local foreign players. We had Third Chima, we had Park, we had Mirko in Tampines, Perez, all these really, really good players. So I
Right.
remember it was so tough to play against them. And you were struggling, but it made you better. It made you raise your level. So I think that's what we need for our local players here right now, and for the young players, uh, I feel that will push them a lot more than basically just giving them the game time right now. Of course, you give them the game time, they're playing, but are we pushing them enough? I'm not so sure about that. So for one, I think we need to have the SPL product has to be a lot better, a lot more quality, and then I think naturally people are gonna come and watch and be excited, and another note, I think there's to be a lot of exposure. I mean, like highlights, there has to be a lot more news, just to calculate the interest in the
Mm-hmm.
league. So I think we're missing a lot of that right now. Of course, it's not good times, but we have to have belief. I think if we pull in the same direction, there's something that we can cheer for in the future. Yeah.
What's your views on coaches? You said yes, foreign talents for players. Like, how about
Yeah.
coaches? We used to have quality coaches, foreign coaches as well. But how? What's
Mm-hmm.
your views on that?
I think we have quality. Yes, we used to have quality foreign coaches. We have quality local coaches as well. But then again, it's what the club wants, the individual club wants. If you're taking in a coach who is experienced, who knows what he's doing, who has a certain philosophy, uh, then why not? I think the local coaches can learn of him. And but then again, I think the last couple of years, a lot of some of our local coaches has gone out. I think in India we have like Coach Akbar,
Yep, yep.
who's there, and I think some of our coaches went to Laos as well with Sundram. So I think we are exposing ourselves. So I think if locals are given the chance to coach, why not? Yeah, but if we have somebody like, for example, I think Radi was a really good
Yeah.
example. I think he was somebody who had a lot of experience. If we have somebody like him, to come in coaching one of our clubs or youth teams, why not? I think in the end, it's all about being open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody of a certain caliber comes in, we have to accept, we have to learn of it. But of course, this person that we bring in has to be of certain standard, the same like the foreign players. He has to be up there. He has to be head and shoulders above
Mm-hmm.
the locals, whereby there is something that we can learn of him. So yeah, it's the same concept for the coaches.
Okay. I want to talk about fame. How do you handle that?
Uh, honestly, to put it bluntly, I don't really care about fame because I've never been one for that. It just came about with my football. So I mean, alhamdulillah, success came with me. I won a lot of trophies so far in my career. So fame came with that. But till this day, I've never been one for fame. So it's not the thing in my mind. It's never been on my mind and never will be, because I'm totally focused on my career. So like whatever that comes with it, I try to, the good things that come with it, I try to embrace. I try to you know uh try to use it to elevate or help others. but the other side of it, you have to ignore, because fame is good in a way, but also bad in
Yes.
another way, so
Right.
you
Right.
need to know how to balance it. So yeah.
How are you not that kind of footballers, flashy footballers, materialistic here and there, always in the news? How do you remain grounded? Is it your upbringing? Is it
uh,
your, yeah?
I think from young, I've never been one. To be honest, to this day, I don't like to go shopping. I don't have flashy clothes. My wife has to force me to change my clothes sometimes, because she said I've been using it for too long. Uh, I've been like this from young, because football has been my life, or revolves around my life from young. When I was in secondary school, it was just going to school training. After school training, going to NFA training with Coach Kade.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I have two of my schoolmates were also my NFA teammates, so we were cabbing there, taking the bus. You just think about football, you don't care about anything. So up till now, of course, you have responsibilities. You have I'm playing for another team in a foreign country. You have kids, you have a wife, you have kids, you have family. But that part of it, of that fame, that never really appealed to me. I was always a very private person. I like that private circle around. I feel like peace.
Yeah.
So I like it that way till now, and I wouldn't change it for anything. Yeah.
How do you not get tempted or influenced by your teammates, right? Like for example, I mean, this is open news where after a win or after a championship, everyone will just go to party. They don't care,
Yeah.
even
Mm-hmm.
whether they have families or not. This is it's a
Yeah.
norm thingy, right? You know about soccer
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle, yeah, very
Yeah.
well. And how do you, how do you have that mindset to just shrug it off and what I have that? How do you do
Yeah.
that?
I mean, to be honest, I did go. I'll be lying if I say I didn't go. I did go, but I didn't really enjoy it. So I decided not to go. So because first and foremost, I didn't like the late night.
Mm,
Because like having a late night, and then you're gonna wake up late the next morning, and then you're gonna feel all miserable. You're gonna feel all, I don't like that feeling. I like that feeling to wake up early, to be fresh, to have that long day ahead of you. Plan things out, do your routines, whatever you need to be done. So I did go, but I didn't like how it turned out to be, and so of course, the older I got, I put all that aside, and just focus on my football. Yeah.
okay. Um, Maybe you can give advice to aspiring footballers in terms of the financial side, right?
Yeah.
Because we see footballers, they are earning, good money today, and they are just uh, maybe for yourself, how do you approach your salary in terms of how do you maybe you invest or you save or stuff like that, like how do you approach it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think first and foremost, you have to take care of your family. And of course, what I mean by family is that your immediate family, people who have been there for you from day one. Your parents, your wife, your kids, your siblings maybe. So you have to try to put that group, label that group, and you have to take really good care of them, because I think uh, I believe that if you take care of these people, you will be well taken care of. And then of course, in terms of saving, you have to decide how much you want to save and how much you want to put aside. And football is a short career, so you have
Yes,
to
correct.
think of life after football. I never really thought of life after football, as in like that term life after football, when I was young, like when I was 18, 19, 20, until I got to like 26 to 28. And now I'm almost 30 this year. Like, you start to really think. I understand when my senior players was talking about this like 10 years ago. I understand that term really well right now. So like, you have to make plans for life after football, no
Mhm.
matter how it is, because in a way, we footballers, I would say we are at a disadvantage if you are thinking of going out to work after your football career at the age of, I don't know, 35 maybe, because people of our age already working for maybe 10 to 15 years, but we are just coming out fresh. So I think we have to make plans, whatever it is, whatever your interest is,
Yep.
go and take courses, go and get your diploma or degree, or, you're going to put your money somewhere, invest, let it grow. But you have to talk to the right people. You cannot do things blindly. You have to have uh, info about how your money is going or where it is going to, how it's going to grow. You have to do the proper homework. It's just not being like blind and, okay, I'm going to put my money here, or I'm going to put my money with somebody and let it grow. You have to always be tactful and make sure that you know what is going on all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I think for football players, it's really, really important, because like I said earlier, it's a short career. But whatever you're gonna earn, or whatever you're gonna keep, it's not only for you, but for your future, as in your family, and everything else. So whatever you do before, I think you have to plan prior. Yeah. So it's your interest. You have to do what you like, and you have to start planning early.
Nice. What are the things that you are passionate about, that you have invested your time on, other than soccer
Uh,
and your family?
uh, I I've been looking at some investments.
Hmm.
Specifically, I wouldn't go too much into that, but I think I've been quite interested in, like, in football itself. Like, I've been quite interested in opening up my own
Oh,
a place whereby I think there's already a few, like, turf, artificial turf play areas in Singapore, but I understand that it's not enough, because I think in Singapore there's a shortage of fields, shortage of pitch, for academies, for teams to train. So I think that there's something to explore. There's something to look at. So I hope that, in the coming years, that something can be worked out in that way. So,
mm-hmm.
not only to on the financial perspective, but to try to help football as a whole, because I think the more fields we have, the better for our football ecosystem. So
Right, right.
yeah, I hope to get that up and running. Yeah.
Aren't you interested in starting a business? There are many footballers,
Mm-hmm.
out there who start business like Sharisha, maybe by
Yeah,
Haki. Have you
yeah,
ever been tempted to start your own, maybe a cafe, or I don't know, at your brand?
yeah. I've thought about it, but, the thing about business is, it's tricky, or it can be complicated when you don't have a certain interest. So right now, for me, I don't have a certain interest.
I
Like,
see.
I'm not passionate about something like fashion, or running a cafe, because it can be dangerous. I feel that if you go into something just for the sake of it, or just for the
Yep, yep.
monetary aspect of it, uh, unless you are 100% sure that you're going to get money out of it. I think in business, there's not anything that's nothing is 100%. Is There's always a risk involved. So I haven't found that passionate area or aspect of business yet, as in be it F&B, or fashion, or, whatever it is. So until I find that one particular area, maybe I would go into business. But it's something to look at. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. What is that one area in your life that you are struggling with and you want to improve?
Uh, Time. Time,
Time.
because
Interesting.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's interesting, because, like I told you, that I like to wake up early, have a long day ahead, be fresh. But, the thing about time is, like, I have two kids, and time really flies by, and you see them grow up. You just feel like you want to put a stop, slow that time down a little bit, just spend a little bit more time with them, because
Yeah,
kids really
yeah.
grow up fast. And sometimes, especially in this CB period, they are at home. But, I have to do my trainings, and you spend time with them, but you miss that part. You feel that you hope that one day there's 48 hours instead of 28 hours, 24 hours, So that is one part I'm struggling, but it's always a challenge. It's always nice, when you're like, for example, like right now I'm training in the morning, doing my own things, but you're so exhausted. But when you go out of the room and you see the kids, they are jumping around you, they're just so happy to see you. You're happy to see them. It just makes all your exhaustion, your tiredness go away. So it's really nice feeling, but that's something that I'm trying to adjust and fit
Mhm.
well into my schedule. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Um, you have played under many coaches, right? Maybe you can share
Yeah.
with me who's your favorite one and why?
Mm, I would say my favorite one has to be Radi. It has to be Radi
Why?
because he gave me my debut. That's the first and foremost. He believed in me. I remember there was one game. He was national team coach, so there was one game he came to watch my under 16 team play at Jalan Besar. I think we were playing Saudi under 16s at Jalan Besar just before the AFC under 16 that year in 2006. So he came to me. I was captain, so he was at the tunnel and he was asking me, "Are you ready to play for the national team?" And I was like, "What? I'm only 16, like." But I never knew that he was serious about it. I was thinking it was just a joke, and I just laughed it off and I just shook my head. But I think he has been following the progress of young players, my progress specifically, and he brought me into the Asian Games team, Young Lions, and subsequently the national team. He gave me that belief, that guidance. He tempered my expectations because I remember when I was uh, 17 or 18 in the national team. So I was eager, competitive. I was trying to get into the first team, and I was really quite. I was really pushing really hard, and he came to me and he said like, uh, "Don't expect to play too much."
Mm.
And I was like, "What? Like, what's this old man saying, man?" But you know, it was his way of saying to me that try to learn as much as possible. So, uh, this little things that he did for me in my career, in my development as a player. I think I'm really grateful to him, because I had really good coach in Kade set a lot of principles, a lot of values in us as a youth players, and that set me up well for national team when I met Radi. And Radi just with his experience, with his know-how, just knew how to guide young players, and he was really crucial, influential for me. Yeah.
Okay. For today's context, in
Yep.
terms of young aspiring footballers, maybe they've been playing soccer, they've been playing football, and they have that talent, but they are dealing with parents who is very negative about it. All they say
Mm-hmm.
is, I want you to get a good degree, a master's, and they want you to focus on getting a real job. If you're in that
Mm-hmm.
kid situation, what is your best advice? How can you you have talent, but how can you be uh, uh focus on football and also be respectful to your parents? Yeah.
Uh, I mean, for me, I was lucky. I had parents who supported me all along. Yeah, I was very supportive of my football. But I think for kids or boys who have parents who are not so supportive, I think it's important to respect them, but also to respect your dreams, your ambitions, because
Mm.
don't give up on them. Uh, Play football, give your best, your dedication to the game, work really hard. But also, I mean, to be honest, in Singapore, we need our papers. So don't neglect the aspect. The values that we learn in football can help you in your academics as well. Be it
Yeah.
your O levels, N level, O level, your JC, poly, or your honors degree or whatever. I think whatever you learn as a footballer, discipline, perseverance, working together as a team, you can put it into your academics, and
Yep.
vice
Yep.
versa. I think in your academics, being focused and being single-minded of wanting to get that paper, that cert can be put into your football. So I think you can find a nice balance, but it's important. If you really want it, you're going to chase for it. So it's important not to give up. Have that belief and maybe prove to your parents, that it can be done. So I think first and foremost is to have that faith. Don't give up. I mean, of course, it's not easy. It can be demoralizing when your own parents don't give you that full support.
Correct.
But you have to be really strong. I mean, if this is what you want, the only way you can tell your parents respectfully is to show them.
Yes,
It's not
yes.
to raise your voice or tell them, hey, I want to do this, and I'm not going to listen to you, but to show them that it can be done. So I think that's the best way. More action, less talk.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it about you that even your teammates don't know about?
Mm, Usually they know a lot about me. I think not much that they don't know, they don't know about, but I don't know. I wouldn't say there's not much they don't know about. They know me quite well because I think a lot of the boys know me from national team, and like people like who are in the national team right now, like Yase, Safwan, Shada and Izwan. I've not known them for many years.
Yeah.
So we know each other for a long time, and we know how we are, how they know how I am. So there's nothing much of a surprise lah right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. So what's next after you retire? Are we gonna see you as a coach or what?
I don't know. I mean, coaching capacity is tempting because I feel that I can contribute something as a coach, but I'm not too sure if I want to be a coach because coach is a little bit the coaching job is a lot more responsibilities, a lot more pressure, I would say, because you are accountable for the team, for the players, for your staff. So maybe yes, I'll get my certs, but to pursue, I'm not too sure. Maybe I will, maybe I not. I would not. It depends because for one, I love a challenge. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll take a break and then jump onto it later on in my life. But like I mentioned, I would like to try to help football fraternity here in Singapore. Try to open up as much spaces or fields as possible for academies for teams to use to play and try to contribute back to Singapore football in a management level if at all
Mm.
possible. Like in a marketing aspect, try to bring in people, stakeholders to be involved in the game,
Yeah.
to believe in the game, in the players, to give the right platform for our future generations to excel, because I think we as one, Singapore as a whole, we have a lot of potential. We are a small country for start. We are unique because we have national service. How can we help the national service boys? Uh, but we are lagging behind, sadly, behind our neighbors right now. So how do we catch up? How do we close that gap and eventually overtake? I think we have to think about that. Of course, we have the goal 2034 initiative. Whether we reach that or not, I think it's something that we have to work towards, and we all have to work towards that. That's target right now. So
Yep.
whether we reach that or not, what we do now determines that. We have to we talk about doing the right things, the small things consistently. So it applies to this aspect right now. So I would like to try to play my part in that. And but yeah, whether it's a coach or a management level or whatever, I would like to be involved somehow. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, that's my plan after I retire. But then again, we don't know what path is there for each one of us. So yeah, I'm very open to it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I have a few questions from listeners. One of them would
Okay.
be, what would you do if you're not a professional soccer player?
Uh, I have thought about this before. I'll probably be a sign on in the police force or
Oh, nice.
also yeah. I think I've never, to be honest, I've never thought about thought with myself without football. Because since a young age, football is everything for me. So, but I have sit down and thought to myself, like, what if football was not in my life? What would I be doing? So the only thing I can think of is like, don't think too much, just go and sign on with the SPF or something. But yeah, that is what I'll probably could have done. Yeah.
Have you ever worked before for someone, or I don't know?
No, I wouldn't call it work. I've done internship before.
Okay.
I was my national service was with police force, so I would say that's kind of work also, because I was doing office work.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was getting paid. In national service you get paid. So
Okay.
so yeah, that was probably the only work that I did before.
So no dishwasher, no McDonald's, nothing else of that sort.
No, nothing of that sort. Yeah.
Okay, another question would be for aspiring soccer players: is going abroad necessary for better future aspect?
Mm, I think right now, yes. I think it's really important that if you're aspiring young boy growing up in Singapore, uh, always dream far, dream big. You want to play in Japan, you want to play in Europe. Let your dreams flow. Let your dreams fly. Don't limit yourself, because that can be your ambition, that can be your target, that can be your goal on an individual level.
Yeah,
uh, Train, dedicate yourself towards that goal. So eventually, whether you reach it or not, it's eventually you try, and maybe you reach, maybe not, but you will get somewhere. So that's my advice, because right now, of course, our league is not in the best shape for young footballers to thrive. Of course, they have the platform to go there to play with the ruling and everything, but I think it's much more important for them to try to go abroad. If be before their national service or after the national service, but if they go abroad, I'm sure they will learn a lot more, because first and foremost, they're out of their comfort zone. They're gonna be different. There's gonna be different expectations on them, because there's a foreign player.
yeah,
People expect you to be better, naturally. So that will be a lot of pressure. So, but when you're thrown in the deep end, when you are pushed over a cliff, I think that's where you learn. That's where you find out something about yourself that you didn't know.
yeah.
So my advice would be to go, if possible. Go. Yeah.
Okay, with that, right, I have a situation in mind. What if the player is, for example, he is playing in the S League, Singapore League, right,
Yeah.
and he is earning comfortably,
Mm-hmm.
and say that he has an offer overseas, but it's probably 20-30% pay cut. What's your
Mm,
advice? Should he go or should he stay?
it depends on what the player wants. It depends on his responsibilities, because I think if the player is someone who's older, who has people to look after, because football players, we have our responsibilities as well to our families. Of course, if the first and foremost the player doesn't mind the pay cut and he wants to play at a higher level or a tougher league or whatsoever, by all means carry on. But if it's somebody who thinks that hey, this pay cut is gonna affect me uh, down the road, my family is gonna be affected. I think with all regards, we have to respect that, because
Yeah,
especially so if it's a senior player with mouth to feed, because we are earning a living as well. This is not like kind of side income or side job, So, but if it's a player who is single, you have nobody to think of, you're just all by yourself. Why not? So I think it all depends on the situation. Yeah.
nice. Okay, I always ask this question to all my guests. What's your definition of a great leader?
Hmm. I think it's someone who can control the people around you. Not to say that control them being bossy, but someone who commands the respect, someone who knows what to do when things are down or things are not right, someone who leads by example. So uh, I think a great leader is someone that people are not fearful of, but someone who people respect and people look up to. Yeah.
Okay, we come to the end of the podcast. Any last parting words that you would like to say?
No, basically, I think it's my pleasure to be part of this podcast. Thank you for having me. And I think for Singapore football is very close to my heart. I hope to see Singapore football thrive in the coming years. For young players to know that despite the current situation in our ecosystem, that to believe, to have faith, take care of yourself, play the game with joy, play the game with enjoy the game, and commit yourself, dedicate yourself if you wanna go far. So and the rewards will come afterwards. Don't think too much about the fame, the rewards, because they will come later on with hard work. So and don't think about the ecosystem. I think that one will be taken care with people at higher level. Just focus on playing football. So that's my advice. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, Hariss, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
I pray that you continue doing what you do. Continue to fly Singapore flag high and be a role model to other footballers. And may Allah reward you and protect you along the way.
I mean,
Thank you so much.
thank you for having me in this show, podcast, bro. Thank you.